It started with a notification at 3:17 a.m. Your live stream has 1,247 viewers. But here's the thing. Olivia Moore was wide awake, and she never pressed go live. She was lying in bed, scrolling mindlessly through her phone in the dark silence of her studio apartment in Tacoma, Washington. Alone, or at least she thought she was. But when she clicked the notification, what she saw shattered her reality. Her face, on the screen, leaping, peaceful, will. A slow rise and fall of her chest. Except she wasn't asleep. She was watching herself, in real time, from an angle above the bed. Her hands began to shake. The phone slipped, hit her chest, but her eyes stayed locked on the screen. It was her, in her apartment, wearing the same shirt she had on now. Her college hoodie, stained with red wine from earlier. She whispered to herself, "Is this a prank? A looped video? A hack?" And then, camera panned, slightly, just enough to show the foot of the bed, just enough to reveal silhouette, standing, perfectly still. Whoever was recording was in the room with her. Olivia Moore was 26, recent graduate, art teacher, moved to Tacoma for a quieter life after growing up in the chaos of LA. Friends described her as hyper-cautious. She always double-locked her doors, kept pepper spray in every room, and never walked with both AirPods in. The irony would later haunt them. She had no enemies, no jealous ex, no controversial past. Just a woman with a cat, a routine, and a hobby for painting watercolors of abandoned buildings. That night, she didn't call the police. Instead, she ran, barefoot, screaming into the street, gripping her phone like a lifeline. Neighbors woke up. Porch lights flicked on. She banged on doors until someone opened. Her live stream, deleted by the time help arrived. The police thought she was hallucinating. Maybe ambient, maybe trauma. They did a welfare check. The apartment door was locked. No signs of forced entry. No hidden cameras. Just Olivia's belongings and her cat trembling under the bed. But Olivia wouldn't let it go. She swore it wasn't a dream. She could describe the stream down to the color grading, the slight pixelation, the viewer count climbing as she watched. And then she dropped the first bombshell, the account that went live. It wasn't mine. She showed detectives the notification. The stream came from an account with her full name, but a different username. When they searched Instagram, the page was gone. But a trace remained. One follower, a burner account named @sleepyhead.watcher. No post, no bio, no profile pic, but the location tag on the account's single archive story. Tacoma, Washington, 0.2 miles away. Detectives were officially on edge. This was no prank. Someone had filmed her in her sleep, live streamed it, deleted it, and managed to vanish. A search of her apartment turned up nothing. No fingerprints, no foreign DNA, no signs of camera equipment, not even dust disturbance, except one thing, a faint smudge above her bed on the ceiling, invisible to the naked eye, but under UV, an oily handprint, positioned directly where a small mounted camera could have been placed. As word spread, other women in the Tacoma area came forward. Young. All lived alone. All had experienced some kind of digital glitch in the past month. Strange app activity, Instagram login requests, lights turning on at night. One even reported that her Alexa said, "Don't move," at 3 a.m. But no one had physical evidence like Olivia. And then, 3 days later, Olivia went missing. She was last seen leaving her therapist's office at 4:11 p.m. She texted her best friend at 4:37. "I think he was at the coffee shop." That was it. Her phone last pinged 9 minutes later, in an abandoned part of Old Tacoma, the same area where she used to paint dilapidated homes. Her car was found on a dirt road, still warm. Keys inside. Driver's seat adjusted perfectly to her height. But no Olivia. Inside her glove compartment. Flash drive. Labeled watch. The video on the flash drive was time-stamped 5 days before the live stream incident. It began with night vision footage of Olivia sleeping. The camera was placed in the ceiling vent, angled just right. For 48 minutes, nothing happened. In movement, figure crept into frame, face hidden behind a black mesh mask, moving with a sickening calm. He didn't touch her, didn't speak, just stood and watched. Then he raised a phone, started live streaming. At exactly 3:17 a.m., the media went wild. The sleepwatcher stalker, art teacher abducted in real time. Conspiracy forums lit up with theories. Some believed it was a rogue AI. Others said a secret cult. But Detective Lena Price, lead on the case, believed none of that. She believed it was a man, someone local, intelligent, calculated, and someone obsessed. She pored over the flash drive frame by frame. And then she noticed something. In the reflection of the masked man's phone. Face. Olivia's face. Wait. It's open. She wasn't asleep during the stream. She was pretending. Why would Olivia fake sleep? Did she know he was there? Had this happened before? The deeper detectives dug, the darker it got. In Olivia's storage unit, they found sketches. Hundreds. Drawings of the same masked figure. Watching from vents, shadows, mirrors. And a recurring phrase scribbled in red ink. If I move, he moves faster. But the biggest twist came 10 days after her disappearance. A new live stream. Same format. Dark room. Sleeping woman. Viewer count rising. But this time the location wasn't Tacoma. It was Chicago. And the woman in the bed wasn't Olivia. Police scrambled. Was this a copycat? A partner? Was he expanding? The stream lasted 42 minutes. At the 41-minute mark, the woman rolled over, muttered something in her sleep. The camera zoomed in slightly. And then, in the corner of the frame, painting, watercolor, an abandoned yellow house. One of Olivia's. She was alive, somewhere, leaving clues. But what kind of twisted game was she playing? Or worse, what kind of game was being played with her? The FBI officially joined the case. Behavioral analysts created a profile. Well, late 20s to early 40s. High intelligence, possibly working in tech. Driven by control and voyeurism. But the profile also suggested something more chilling. This perpetrator is likely not working alone. Back in Tacoma, Detective Price received a package. No return address. No stamps. Inside, a single Polaroid. Olivia. Open. Face pale. A cracked phone on her chest, with a caption typed out on screen. She knows you're watching. The photo changed everything. Olivia Moore. Alive. Ill. Is wide open. Lying in what looked like a basement. And on her chest, a cracked phone. A message lit up the screen. She knows you're watching. Detective Lena Price stared at the Polaroid in silence. Had no fingerprints. No traceable marks. Delivered by hand. Someone had walked right up to the precinct door and left it there. Slap in the face. The FBI immediately launched a forensic analysis on the image. Zooming in on dust particles, shadows, trying to decode the angle of the lighting. But it was the reflection in the cracked phone screen that set off alarms. Staircase. Metal. Painted red. And in turn cross-referenced every industrial building within 100 miles of Tacoma with red basement stairwells. They found 7. 6 were cleared by the end of the day. But the 7th was abandoned. They moved in at BI. Local PD. The building was a condemned meatpacking plant on the outskirts of Ruston. Boarded up for decades. No working power. No visible signs of life. But in the basement they found something. Mattress. Bloodstain. Ropes. A shattered phone. And in the far corner, a wall of screens. All blank. Except one. A paused frame of Olivia Moore. Staring straight into the camera. But Olivia wasn't there. What they did find. Hair strands. Fingerprints. Blood. Belonging to 3 different women. None of them Olivia. One was identified as Danielle Ridge, a 24-year-old from Portland reported missing 11 months ago. Another, Marcy Chen, a Seattle grad student last seen after leaving a library late at night. The third was still being analyzed. This wasn't just Olivia's story anymore. This was a serial case, spanning cities, maybe states, and somehow no one knew. Until Olivia's live stream. Detective Price knew something was off. Too many threads. Too many calculated moves. Who was behind the camera? And then came the next twist. The live stream account was active again. Username at sleepyhead.watcher. Same dark visuals. Same silence. But this time no woman sleeping. Just a room. Me. Chair. And in it a box. Wrapped in brown paper. Labeled. For Price. The team scrambled. IP trace, signal triangulation. Nothing held. The stream was routed through multiple proxies. But one agent noticed something strange. Every few seconds the stream glitched. Almost like it was playing from a pre-recorded video. With subtle changes inserted. At the 15-minute mark the glitch paused. And a new image appeared. Burned into the feed. Detective Lena Price's face. From her private social media. Photo never made public. The message underneath. You're watching her. But he's watching you. The box in the stream was real. The team confirmed it. Someone had placed it inside an old janitor's closet at a Tacoma subway station. By the time police arrived, the closet was open. The box was gone. But a security guard had seen a man in a parka, 6 feet 2 inches, wearing gloves, leave the area 5 minutes earlier. No security cam footage. Tapes had been wiped. They were always one step behind. Back at HQ, Price hit a wall. We're missing something, she said. Something about Olivia. Her sketches. The paintings. That's when she pulled the storage unit evidence again. Not the police photos. The originals. Dozens of watercolor paintings. Abandoned homes. Empty windows. Peeling wallpaper. But one painting stood out. One she hadn't seen before. It was newer. Still damp in corners. It wasn't just a house. It was the exact layout of the meatpacking plant basement. Before the team had even discovered it. Which meant Olivia had seen it. And more than that, she'd painted it while she was still held captive. But how? Had she escaped at some point? Was she allowed to roam? Or was the real horror that Olivia wasn't just a victim? Was she working with him? They ran handwriting tests, psychological profiles, patterns in the art, and then they found it. The signature on the paintings. It didn't match Olivia's original art style. Someone was forging them. Or someone else had been painting them entirely. 3 days later, a missing persons report came in from Chicago. A woman named Tasha Holloway, 25, vanished from her apartment. On her wall, a gift she'd bought at a street market the week before. A watercolor of an abandoned meatpacking plant. The same painting from Olivia's unit. That night, another live stream began. Dark, silent, a woman asleep on screen. Not Olivia, not Tasha, someone new. And behind her, on the wall, photo collage, dozens of faces, all women, all confirmed missing. And in the center, Olivia Moore, with a note below her image. Original prototype. The FBI released a statement. We are now investigating the possibility of a network, potentially cult-like in nature, operating across multiple states, targeting women, recording them, and live streaming for anonymous audiences. But the truth was, they were flying blind. Every lead ended in static. Every stream got bolder. And then came the biggest shock of all. An anonymous file was sent to Price's email. No subject, no message, just a video. It opened with a news anchor's voice, stuttering mid-report. Then, grainy surveillance footage. A hallway, me, and movement. A figure walking toward the camera. Olivia. But she looked different. Hair dyed black. Ill. Smiling. She approached the camera, looked directly into it, and whispered, "He taught me how to watch." I want you to learn too. Static, then black. The file was timestamped 2 hours earlier. Olivia Moore had been inside a building across the street from the police station. Watching. The footage of Olivia walking down the hallway changed everything. It wasn't a cry for help. It was a warning. Detective Lena Price rewatched the video again and again. Olivia's words were calm, calculated. He taught me how to watch. I want you to learn too. This wasn't the Olivia they remembered. Not the frightened woman who once ran barefoot into the street. Not the victim shaking in a neighbor's doorway. Something had changed, or been broken, or built. The FBI pulled Olivia's bank records, digital footprints, even her medical files. And what they found shocked them. A series of encrypted payments, Bitcoin transfers, starting 2 months after she went missing. Small at first, then large, each traced back to a hidden website on the dark web. The Watcher's Room, a secret, members-only network where users paid to watch women sleep. Each stream was cataloged, organized, and at the top of every folder, curated by OM. 4 weeks, law enforcement across 3 states coordinated raids. They dismantled servers, identified locations from backgrounds in streams, rescued 2 women, found 3 bodies, and in every hideout, they found signs of Olivia, her sketches, her watercolors, her notes, but not her, until a tip came from an anonymous whistleblower, an ex-watcher who claimed to be part of the ring. He told them Olivia was the one who restructured the operation. After her original captor was killed, by her, she didn't escape. He took over. They found her in Denver, a luxury high-rise, living under the name Maya Lin. She didn't resist arrest. In fact, she smiled. In the interrogation room, she spoke clearly, only, almost coldly. He broke me, yes. But then I realized, I wasn't afraid. I was fascinated. Watching them gave me peace. Knowing where they were, how they breathed. I gave them the audience they never knew they had. Detectives stared in stunned silence. Olivia Moore wasn't a pawn. She had become the king. At her trial, prosecutors painted her as a manipulative mastermind, responsible for orchestrating a network of surveillance, abduction, and psychological terror. The defense tried to argue trauma, coercion, dissociation. But the jury didn't need long. Guilty. On all 47 counts, she was sentenced to life without parole. Today, the Watcher's network is gone. Dozens of viewers were exposed. Names leaked. Families ruined. The basement studio sealed. The website wiped from the dark web. And Olivia, she remains at Blackstone Women's Correctional Facility, under heavy surveillance. Ironically, she's watched 24/7. When asked in a prison interview if she regrets it, she replied, "No one ever asked why we watch, only why we shouldn't. Maybe I gave them what they really wanted." And the most chilling part, the final item recovered from Olivia's Denver apartment was a USB drive. Contained one last video. Footage from a ceiling camera. A woman in bed, fast asleep, unaware. And the file name, Price Novi. The case is closed, but someone somewhere is still watching.